here, kind of, I guess, background. Ashley's recording for volunteers that can't be here and want to watch later. So wanted to give you guys kind of how did we get here, and then I'll kick it off to Ashley to talk about all the different modifications and expectations for volunteers in COVID stuff. So about probably 5 weeks ago, Shirley, Ashley, and I kind of started talking about what is a reopening, what could that look like? And we knew in order to do that, we would need to find out from our volunteers how comfortable they would be. And so we sent out the survey along with the one to families. We kind of sent those out around the same time to kind of gauge where our volunteers are, knowing that Metro Schools was possibly going to be opening up and we need to be ready, and what does that look like? And so we've been talking about this for quite a while. We met with our leadership team that is basically all of our leaders in Woodmont Kids for each area. And when we talked through with them about the possibility of opening and should we start working on a plan for that, what did they think? How comfortable were they? They all said, let's give it a go and see how that works. We had created a plan back in July when we thought things were going to open up. We had kind of like started that plan and we had worked through some things, and then everything shut down. So we just put it to the side. Well, so we dusted that off a little bit, knowing some of the new things that we know about COVID and about gatherings and about what's happening in Davidson County and what's also happening in schools and preschools and with Metro schools and things like that. So we dusted that plan off, kind of reshaped and reformed, and then also knowing that the church has kind of their own set of what are the expectations and requirements and wanting to kind of go along with what they do as well. We reformulated our plan a little bit. We also met with the Woodmont Task Force. So I don't know if you guys know that exists, but it is a group of people that are, some are in the medical community, some of them are shepherds, some are ministers. And so basically how the task force functions is they serve as a resource for us to give us other things to think about as we're navigating COVID. And so we went to we had that meeting. Was that last week, Shirley, Ashley? My weeks run together. My days are all the same because we're just here all the time anyway, so it was last week, I think. And so we met with them and they had some great, we gave them our plan. This is what we're going to do. And then they had some other great suggestions that we're also going to talk about a little bit tonight. But so that's kind of how we've gotten to where we are. And we feel really good about a November 1st phased reopening. Also wanted to let you know, other children's ministries in the areas, we are kind of following suit a little bit with them. So I'm in touch with a lot of children's ministers, and none of them have really started classes. Harpeth Hills is the first church, I think, that's going to have class for kids on October 25th, but most of the other churches are about to start a kids praise or kids worship and are looking at class to begin maybe in January. So we're kind of tracking along with what some of the other churches are doing in the area. One thing we are, just to be upfront and transparent and honest, one thing we are aware of is that numbers are increasing in Nashville. And if Nashville does go back to like a phase 2, there's a possibility that all of this will be for naught. But we're going to prepare anyway, and we're going to move forward. And with the possibility that our task force might come in and say, we are not so sure that this is a good idea. So just wanted to put that out there for full transparency that we're doing the best we can with the information that we've got. And we're hoping for good protocol, good safety and things like that. So Ashley, I'm going to kick it over to you. You're the host, so you can share your screen. And Ashley, by the way, I just want to say, Ashley, all of the Kids Praise modifications, we did like a whole plan, the three of us, Ashley, Shirley, myself, but Ashley put together all of the PowerPoint that you're going to see tonight, and then also a lot of the modifications that we are going to be doing, she based off of a lot of what they're doing already in the preschool at West End, and major props to her for pulling a lot of the weight there and really getting us to where we are today. So I'm really thankful for her leadership. Whoop, whoop. I'll mute now.
Okay, so I've never done this before on sharing a screen, so hopefully this will work. Maybe I click to share desktop. Okay.
Does it give you an option? I can be the host and I can share if the PowerPoint is updated in Teams, I can pull it up.
It's ready to go in Teams. Yes,
okay.
That would be great.
Okay, I will do that. Give me just a second.
Great, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Let me make myself the host again. I think I can do that, or maybe you might have to do that. You might have to make me the host. Go to my name and right click, make me the host so I can share screen.
Oh, it hurts to give up the power.
Give me all the power. Okay. Okay. Everybody see that?
Okay, perfect.
Okay, I'm gonna work on, I don't normally do this in Teams, so hold on a second. Does that work? Can y'all see the first slide? It's not doing it like a slideshow.
Okay.
Here we go. Just kidding. I don't do it this way normally, so.
It looks spectacular on my screen. It's beautiful.
Beautiful. Okay.
Great. Okay. All right. So here we go. You can go on and click to the net. Okay. So like you already know, we plan to open Kids Praise on Sunday, November 1st, and we will offer Kids Praise in both first and second service. And like I said in the email, we really need you. 3 volunteers per service is what we're looking for. And right now we're almost full for November. So that's really exciting. And of course, and the why, because Kids Praise is really fun. So it'll be interesting about how it looks whenever we start this in November. But you can see this is the agenda for the things we're going to talk about. It looks like a really long list. And there is a lot of information, but I'll try to make it as brief and exciting as possible. So we'll start with volunteers. So, which obviously is you. Next screen, Julie. Okay, so just like with worship service, we're asking all volunteers to wear a mask. That's a requirement, not a recommendation, especially with kids. And when we say low touch, when working with kids, it's really hard to be socially distant. And this is one thing that I really want to communicate is that while we can try really hard, we can do our best by wearing a mask, by using hand sanitizer, by trying to be distant. It's really hard for kids to do that. It's really hard for them to maintain distance, especially from each other. So we have used the term low touch to hopefully help with that. As before, we've said that we don't want the children to sit in your lap. We want them to sit beside you or maybe in front of you. But especially now, being low touch, that we definitely don't want any child sitting in an adult's lap. They are going to have foam mats. I don't know if you've seen their rugs. They look like rugs, but they're pieces of foam that can be put together. And they're squares. So each child will have one of those squares. And so we'll have enough for first service, and then those will be cleaned, and then we'll use them again for second service as well. So they're big enough to show the kids this is the space that you will stay in, although they're not going to be sitting there for 30 minutes. So honestly, probably the only time they'll be sitting on it is if they're listening to the teaching or they're watching a video. Other than that, they'll probably be moving around. For you, we're asking each time that you touch your mask, just sanitize your hands. This is probably something that you're already doing, but it's just a good reminder. We're also asking that you just remind the children to give space to each other, and just in that kind of that wording is also, it's more positive than stay away from each other or don't get too close or something like that. But just let's give space to each other. It's a positive way to remind kids because they need a lot of reminders. If you're feeling sick at all, if you have any symptom listed, and as the CDC recommends, as we're, yeah, get away from me. That works too. As they are recommending just one of the symptoms, stay home, do not come. It is okay that you are not there. We will make it work. We will figure something out. And we are not going to do temperature checks, but we ask that you wear your mask and that you sanitize as often as you would like. There will be lots of hand sanitizer available. Another big thing that's going to be really different with Kids Praise is restroom. So we have a lot of kids in Kids Praise that have either just started using the restroom independently, or some of them are still potty training. And so there will be times when you're not going to be able to social distance with kids in this instance, which would be with the restroom. So we were asking that 2 volunteers, that's a normal thing that we did in the past, go with the child to the restroom down in Explorers. And after the child uses the restroom, we will have a cleaning solution there. And we just ask that one of the volunteers spray down the sink, the door handle, and the toilet after the child uses the restroom. So you will exit the side door to go to the restroom, and then you'll come back in the double doors. But those double doors are going to stay open the entire time to provide more air circulation. So we just ask that you exit one way but enter a different way. And a lot of the toys are going to be taken out of Kids Praise. And this is mainly because we want to provide a safe environment for them. And we also want to have toys that are easy to clean. So I'll talk about that more in just a minute, though, about what the room will look like. And okay, kid specifics. It sounds kind of daunting at first when you see that we're asking kids ages 3 and up to wear a mask, but that's the age I teach at West End, and my kids do it every day, and they do it really well, and they don't mind it at all. We're outdoors a lot. They do not wear their mask when they're outside, but when we're inside in the classroom, they do. And so far, we have not had any issues with the kids wearing the mask. And we have lots of different personalities in my class. We have lots of different learning styles in our class. It's not just one type of child. As you all know, all children are different, and they learn different, and they experience things different. So it's been encouraging to see that with all different types of children being able to wear the mask and be okay with the mask too. So here's what the schedule will look like. drop off, which I will explain more in a minute too, but the kit will make sure that the child is wearing the mask and wearing it appropriately, and that they sanitize as soon as they enter the room. Then they will be able to go to centers, which we will have all throughout the room. That and we're saying that 2 kids per center. And then once we're finished with centers, they'll sanitize again, and then they'll grab their mat for worship time. We'll have a question that we discuss together, and then we'll sing together and have a Bible lesson and a prayer. And then we are going to end with a video. Rather than going back to centers, this is just less movement, less time that they're moving around the room. And so ending with the video, this also allows for when we see parents who are ready for pickup, that we can easily tell the child it's time for you to leave, and the child can exit the room easily. And when they leave, they're going to sanitize again. Lots of sanitizing happening. So drop off, if you're familiar with the way the building is set up, the easiest way for me to remember this, the West Wing is close to the White House, and then the East Wing is the other side, and that's how I remember it. But drop off will take place at the East Wing double doors. So the big metal doors is as far as the parent will go. There will be markers 6 feet apart for the parents to stand on with their children as they drop off, and the parent will bring their child to the volunteer that will be standing at those big gray doors. And then another volunteer will be standing at the double doors to enter Kids Praise for a child to go in. So there won't be any parents in that hallway like there used to be. We are asking that parents pre-register their kids. So we will have their tags printed off, and the volunteer that is standing at the big metal doors will tag the child. So we'll give them their tag, and then we'll give the parent the other tag for pickup as well. And so the kid will be dropped off at the big metal doors with a volunteer. That volunteer will watch the kid go into the double doors in the library, and there will be a volunteer standing there as well for the kid to enter. They will go immediately into play, and then we are asking that the volunteers re-enter the Great Hall in the double doors that are directly across from the student ministry desk. So we're asking them to exit the Great Hall on the far east side, and then they'll come back in the double doors that are across from the student ministry desk, if that makes sense. And as I said before, when they get in the room, they need to be wearing a mask, and they will be given hand sanitizer. And we are trying to keep it no more than 2 kids per center. Again, that's something that's really hard for kids too, but it's just reminding them or just giving them another option. Usually that works for if they want to be in the center that is already full. Room modifications, there's a lot of information here. So hopefully this won't be too overwhelming, but like I said before, there will be a significant reduction in toys. We are going to have 2 buckets, 1 bucket, or 2 sets, I should say. 1 set of buckets for first service, 1 set of buckets for second service. And this way, then once the service is over, second service is over, those toys will go into quarantine for the next 7 days, but they'll also be cleaned. So we'll have a first service set of toys and a second service set of toys. In between services, Blue Puddles will come in and clean the room. But also Shirley and I will be in there to clean the space as well to make sure it's ready for the kids in second service. We will have art supplies. We're going to have individual bags of art supplies for the kids to use. And we're going to give each kid a bag, write their name on it. And then obviously we'll have bags for visitors as well. But it's just easier. This way they don't have shared materials and we don't have to worry about sanitizing individual art supplies every single week because it's only going to be one kid that will have that bag of supplies. A big difference in Kids Praise right now is only 15 kids are going to be allowed in the space. This is also based off of CDC recommendations. It's also based off of DHS recommendations with this age specific of child. And we are saving spots for if we have visitors as well, then, and if a family and members forget to register, we will be able to register them if there are spots available on Sunday morning.
Ashley, I did want to just say too, we talked with the task force specifically about this and asked if we thought that number, if they, the medical profession and educational profession, thought that that needed to be expanded or limited even further. And it was definitely very clear in that meeting that we should not expand it any further. 15 was their also recommendation. Just wanted to put that out there for more confirmation regarding that number that we landed on.
And also the size of the space too. With having 3 volunteers plus me in the space and 15 children, that's a lot of people. And if you've been in Kids Praise before, a normal number for us is 40, 30 to 40 to 45 kids. And so that's tight. But when we're spacing out 6 feet or trying to be 6 feet apart, we really don't have the space to have much more than that. And as I said, they'll each have a mat to sit on during worship, and that we will watch a video at the end. We won't return to centers if there's a chance, which there is, that worship goes a little bit longer, then we might go back into centers. That was a common theme prior to COVID. So if that happens, that's something that we're flexible with too. Prior to COVID, we did not allow snacks or drinks in the children's library, and that will continue. There will not be snacks or drinks allowed. We are also asking, this is something different, we are asking that kids do not bring levies or toys or backpacks, anything like that. No outside anything, even their jackets. We want parents to keep all of that out of the Kids Praise space. Restrooms, I already went over this. Yay. So again, just one thing that I'm just trying to make everybody aware of, that some children may need help, and that as a volunteer, please be aware of this, that many are still developing their fine motor skills. So things like helping them with their pants or their dress or their leggings. That's a common theme with this age of child. So if a child gets sick in Kids Praise, if they have any of the symptoms that we know are related to coronavirus, then the child will be escorted out of the room and I'll contact their parents, and I will meet them at if you know where Trailblazers is, down at the very end of the hall in the west wing, in the east wing. I will meet them there for them to exit the building. And then if I didn't update this. I did update the document, but not the PowerPoint. So should a child or a volunteer or a family member of a child or a family member of a volunteer who attended Kids Praise be diagnosed with COVID the following week, then every participant and every volunteer will obviously be notified once we find this out. That's also another reason for the registration. And obviously, Kids Praise, prior to COVID, we had them register and we tagged them. But this is just another reason. We have that documentation so we can know and do the contact tracing. For pickup, as I said, when the kids leave the room, they will sanitize. An adult volunteer will be standing at the double doors at the children's library for the child to exit, and another volunteer, again, will be standing at the big metal doors for the child to exit. Parents will stand on the same markers where they stood for drop-off, and we are encouraging the parents to exit on the east side, just because that's less back and forth once they pick up their child. And as I said, all toys will be sanitized after second service, and all surfaces as well. And then Blue Puddles will be there in between services, but Shirley, do they also come after second service?
Yes, they come on Sunday afternoons, and they're there during the week. So
okay,
they would either do it Sunday or Monday. They
okay.
would come in plane.
And questions? I've done a lot of talking.
And I'm going to tell you, we have 3.5 minutes because I only have the free Zoom because the church account is being used at the same time. So 3 minutes, go.
This is very comprehensive and awesome. Y'all are wonderful. That's all I got.
Well, I do.
And we'll email out. Yes, perfect. Go ahead.
Question.
Okay, quick question, because I have never done the Kids Praise before.
Mm-hmm.
So the volunteers, we just get there and Ashley gives us our orders, tells us what to do.
Basically, yes.
Okay, and what time should we be?
Yes,
what
great
time should
question.
we be there?
So you can come when the kids are dismissed from service. You can come with them. If you want to come, if you want to leave service a couple of minutes before and come in, that's fine too. And then you can just pick where you would like to be, what center you would like to be in. Just basically that we have all eyes on the kids during the time that they're in. Good questions. Anything else? I know it's a lot of information. Like Julie said, we have a really beautiful document that Brittany Sullivan made for us. It's one page. It's not a long PowerPoint, and it's not a long document. It has really beautiful graphics and really easy to read. So we will send that out as well. And if you have any questions, but the biggest thing that I hope that you take away from this is we want to be as safe as possible while offering something for the kids, because that's really important that they're getting something. It's a little dip of their normalcy, I feel like, what used to be normal. And so if we can provide just a little bit of that, a little bit of safety and security for them, hey Elizabeth, then I I'm thankful that we can do that. And I'm so thankful for y'all that you're willing to step in and do this and serve.
And the only other thing that I would add too, that Ashley, you said this at the task force meeting, and you said it in another meeting that we were a part of too, that a lot of this is going to come down to routines and reminding. And so it's new routines, and it's going to be constant reminding. And that is, once they get kind of the new routines, it's going to feel a lot more natural. So I would say the first few weeks is going to be, hey, Jackson, is going to be a lot of routines and just a lot of friendly reminders and positive reminders, not get away.
Yes.
Yeah.
And most of them have been in a school setting already. So they're used to the things that we're going to be reminding them of. But yet again, and I'm saying this because we're currently dealing with this with Clark, it's just something new that they're learning, and that another new experience. And so just having a lot of grace, which I know you all do because you're amazing.
I know. If there's any other questions, we've got a couple minutes. We've got 1.5 minutes left. If not, then you can always email us questions. You can do that. It's pretty easy. kids@woodmont.org would be one thing that would go to all three of us, Shirley, Ashley, and myself. Or if you have just something specific, feel free to text us or call us, either way. For that, but we will email out all of the beautiful infographic that Brittany made with all of this information, and also we can put these slides, make the slides available to you if that would be helpful as well. So